Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. In the past, after Zhenghai left the evil Sky Pavilion, he founded the Nether Sect and became its sect master. He was not someone who could stay idle in the palace. Similarly, Yuan'er, who was used to being alone, was not suitable for a long stay in the palace. Zhou was aware of this. He knew that if he kept the duo here to cultivate in peace, it would only hinder their growth. Moreover, with a towering tree present, how could the other trees grow tall? It was not just the palace that would restrict the duo's growth. Now that both of them had sprouted the 10th leaf, apart from Thousand Realms whirling experts who had activated their birth charts, most of the people in Great Tang were no match for the duo. Zhou did not reveal his intention yet. Instead, he asked, Old Seventh, how much do you know about the Southern Kingdom? When the Southern Kingdom appeared on the map, I looked it up in the ancient books. The Southern Kingdom was originally occupied by barbarians. Their cultivation was rather backward, and they worshipped strange wild beasts. There were many tribes there with totems of their own. It was inevitable that their chaotic and unorthodox beliefs led to conflicts and wars. For that reason, people there found it hard to survive. Later on, the royal family in the Southern Kingdom requested Great Tang to send troops to stabilize the station. From then on, the Southern Kingdom became part of Great Tang's territory, Wuya replied. After the Southern Kingdom submitted to Great Tang, the people there began to learn the cultivation methods from Great Tang about 1,000 years ago, unifying their thoughts and philosophies. Gradually, they learned about the schools of Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism, and their cultivation progressed swiftly. After a brief pause, he continued to say, 1,300 years ago, the Sky Martial Court studied the constitution, talent, and cultivation of the Southern Kingdom's people. At that time, they discovered the kingdom was rich with vitality energy, and the environment was conducive to cultivation. In order to control the situation in the kingdom, Great Tang planned to establish a Confucian sect there. Unfortunately, before the plan could be implemented, a disaster that humans were helpless against happened. The records in the history book said that the disaster was a beast tide. There were 10 birth chart beasts and a beast king at that time. It almost flattened the entire kingdom. The casualties were incredibly high. In the end, the cultivators in the kingdom had no choice but to move north. This disaster lasted for 2 years, and during that time, all of the 10-leaf cultivators from the kingdom died while Great Tang suffered heavy casualties as well. The others were shocked by Wuya's words. They had heard about the beast tide once or twice. From the time they met Jiang Wenxiu in Great Yen, they had heard about the fierce beasts and the disaster they would bring. Compared to the Golden Lotus domain, the beasts were much fiercer in the Red Lotus domain. Zhenghai asked, how were the birth chart beasts dealt with in the end? There are no detailed records in the history books, however, we can be sure that it has nothing to do with the Southern Kingdom or Great Tang. Otherwise, the history books would have mentioned them. After all, they would, naturally, hide or gloss over the ugly things and highlight the good things. Wuya replied. Zhou stroked his beard and said, 1,300 years ago, the Black Lotus Council had already implemented the captivity plan in the Red Lotus domain. That's to say it's likely that the Black Tower Council dealt with the birth chart beasts and carried out the annihilation plan at that time. The annihilation plan? Wuya asked in confusion. It's one of the Black Tower Council's plans. When a situation goes beyond their control, they will annihilate those who cause the problem. The birth chart beasts and the Beast King were probably motivating factors for them to carry out the annihilation plan. Zhou looked at the mission on the system interface again. After confirming there were no other hints and explanations, he said, both of you will go on this mission. Zhenghai and Yuan'er exchanged a quick look before they replied in unison, understood. The Southern Kingdom is fraught with danger. If you encounter Black Lotus cultivators, avoid them. Let Old Seventh draw a map for you, Zhou said. I need you to find something for me in the Southern Kingdom. This item is similar to the item in the Melilot graveyard. Old Second has seen it before, so I won't bother describing it. Be careful when you're in the Southern Kingdom. The Red Lotus domain is different from the Golden Lotus domain. If you're in danger, use the talisman to send a message. Understood. This disciple will obey master's orders. Old 7th, make the necessary arrangement. Understood. Following that, Lu Zhou's 3 disciples left the hall. In the afternoon. After Si Wuya completed the necessary arrangement, Yu Zhenghai and Yu Shangrong left the capital and made their way to Jiannan Circuit. They would need to through Jiannan Circuit in order to go to the southern kingdom. Since the duo was passing through Jiannan Circuit, Si Wuya arranged for them to rest in Sikong Beichen's 9th temple. When he informed Sikong Beichen of the duo's arrival, Sikong Beichen was delighted to receive the duo as guests. Lu Zhou continued to cultivate in the preservation hall. At this time, he had already replenished his supreme mystic power, and his cultivation base had recovered as well. Yanjin Lua had sent talismans and a little information regarding runic passages over as promised. Lu Zhou did not intend to study the information and send it over to Si Wuya instead. It was afternoon when Lu Zhou manifested his lotus. He fell deep into his thoughts as he studied his lotus seat. I've already activated 4 birth charts. They occupied 4 zones in the birth palace, the star aligns with the pen and sword, the 7 killing techniques, riding the wind and breaking the waves, and the twin palace. The 5th birth chart should still be located in the human grade region. Where can I find a suitable birth chart beast to activate my 5th birth chart? Lu Zhou muttered to himself. However, the current situation made it difficult for him to find a suitable birth chart beast. There were not many 10-leaf cultivators in the Red Lotus domain, to begin with. It would be difficult to lure out birth chart beasts with intermediate or advanced life hearts. Lu Zhou continued thinking about ways to obtain the 5th life heart in the fastest time possible. After a while, he withdrew his lotus before he ordered someone to bring him the 4 treasures of the study. Then, he came up with several plans. First, he would keep the Red Lotus domain in the captivity plan. He would occupy the Black Tower Council's stone forest formations and monopolize the birth chart beasts in the Red Lotus domain. Naturally, he knew this might lead to a war between the Black Tower Council and the Red Lotus domain. 2. He would find time to go the depths of the forest to look for suitable birth chart beasts. The Golden Lotus domain's 4 great forests and the hidden places in the Red Lotus domain all had birth chart beasts. Third, he would follow in Lu Li's footsteps and head to the Endless Ocean to search for a Beast King. Naturally, he knew this plan carried with it a high risk. It was as Mo Xinglu said, Lu Zhou received the Fire Spirit Stones from the True Kunlun Sect, the Void Sect, and the Seeking Heaven Sect respectively within 3 days. Lu Zhou nodded in satisfaction as he looked at the Fire Spirit Stones and muttered to himself, I have 3 Fire Spirit Stones now. Which weapon should I upgrade? While he was considering which weapon to upgrade, he received 2 system notifications. Ding. Worshipped by 15,230 people. Reward, 15,320 merit points. Ding. Worshipped by 135 people. Reward, 0 merit points. The notifications successfully caught his attention. Old 8th. Lu Zhou recalled the last time he had checked in on his 8th disciple. His 8th disciple was still fighting the fierce beast. However, he did not know what the outcome was. Lu Zhou decided to have a look. He chanted the incantation for the heavenly writing power. Soon enough, the supreme mystic power converged around his eyes. At this moment, Zhu Honggong was sitting on what looked like a throne as he looked down at the cultivators below the platform. All the cultivators were kneeling. At the same time, an intimidating 200-foot avatar looked down from up high as well. It seemed like Zhu Honggong formed his Thousand Realms whirling avatar before he activated his birth chart. Zhu Honggong rose to his feet and withdrew his avatar. He said in a clear voice, I'll reward you according to your contributions during our fight against the fierce beasts. If there's nothing else, you're all dismissed for now. Thank you, mighty sect master. The disciples from the Flood sect replied in unison before they left. After the cultivators left, Lu Li, who was sitting next to Lu Zhou, said, although you managed to obtain the life heart, the difficult road lies ahead. You don't have a lotus. This means you don't have a birth palace. Without a birth palace, you won't be able to activate your birth chart. We'll need a long time to solve this problem, so you need to be mentally prepared. Is it really so difficult? It's much more difficult than ascending to the heavens, Luli replied. There's no need to be upset. We'll definitely find a way. The Yellow Lotus domain is safe enough and is filled with resources. In any case, you can't break through, you can just stay here forever. Isn't that what you've always wanted? I was just kidding, why are you taking it so seriously? At this moment, Zhou cut off the heavenly writing power before he opened his eyes. I had no idea Old 8th is facing the same problem as Old 2nd. It seemed like the problem of severing one's lotus had become even urgent and needed to be solved as soon as possible. He was not worried about Zhu Honggong since he knew Zhu Honggong was relatively safe in the Yellow Lotus domain. Following that, he activated the heavenly writing power again to check in on his fight disciple, Zhao Yu. In the back garden of the Imperial Palace in Great Yen, Zhao Yu slowly walked to the side of a pond. Her eyes were trained at the opposite of the pond. After a while, a figure appeared on the rock. It was none other than that mysterious woman, Lianxing. As soon as Lianxing appeared, she asked without beating around the bush, "Did you think about things we spoke of previously?" Zhao Yu smiled politely before she replied, "I'm sorry, but I can't make this decision alone. I've already reported this matter to my 7th junior brother." Lianxing shook her head and said, "I'm only trying to protect you. If you join the Black Tower Council, your future will be incomparably bright. Why do you want to stay in the weak Golden Lotus domain? Everyone has their own aspirations." "I prefer to stay here," Zhao Yu replied. Lianxing sighed before she said, "Zhao Yu, things aren't as simple as you think they are. To be honest with you, someone has taken interest in you. I've tried my best to buy you time. If you provoke that person in any case, just listen to me. I won't harm you." "No, didn't you say you'll respect my decision?" Zhao Yu said. Lianxing shook her head. "It depends on the situation. The current situation doesn't allow me to respect your decision now, Sister Zhao Yu. If you don't come with me now, I'm afraid you'll die." "You're going to kill me if I refuse?" Zhao Yu took 2 steps back warily. "If it weren't for me, you'd already die. As it is, it's almost too late for me to protect you. They said that they'd give me 7 days. If you refuse, they'll come for you in 7 days. Even if I know you'd refuse, I still want to persuade you. I already risk breaking the council's rules as it is," Lianxing said. Zhao Yu remained silent. She knew the force behind Lianxing was very strong. It was so strong even the entire Golden Lotus domain was not a match for it. Apart from that, Lianxing continued to say, "Other forces are already here in Great Yen. It's highly possible that they'll make a move against the Evil Sky Pavilion. Currently, the Evil Sky Pavilion only has Yi Tianxin holding down the fort. The size of her mount, Zhenghai, is very conspicuous. I don't know how it concealed its aura, but a birth chart beast like Zhenghai will be a target for others sooner or later." "Zhenghai is so powerful, but it'll be a target for others?" Zhao Yu said in surprise. "You know too little about the outside world. Zhenghai is indeed powerful, but it has already left its territory and lost a lot of its cultivation. I have observed secretly. It's not as powerful as it was before. Moreover, I suspect Yi Tianxin also has the Great Void Energy." "The Great Void Energy again. If I knew this was going to happen, I'd give it to all of you a long time ago." Zhao Yu had grown sick of hearing about the Great Void Energy. "Don't speak words of anger. You'll understand sooner or later. Anyway, I've said everything I wanted to say. I'll look for you again in 7 days." After Lianxing finished speaking, she leaped up into the air and flew away as light as a swallow. Zhou opened his eyes, cutting off the heavenly writing power. Although his extraordinary power had evolved into the supreme mystic power, it did not mean he could squander it recklessly. Among all the powers from the heavenly writing, the power of sight was the most energy-consuming. He had only observed his 2 disciples for a few minutes, but he had already used up half of the supreme mystic power. Fortunately, with the flood-grade purple glazed ceramic, his speed of replenishing the supreme mystic power was a lot faster. 7 days, Zhou muttered to himself. It was impossible for the runic passage to be completed in 7 days. The Golden Lotus domain was much weaker compared to the Red Lotus domain. However, if the Red Lotus domain and Golden Lotus domain were compared to the Black Lotus domain, there was not much difference at all. The difference was probably between 1 or 2 punches. It was, indeed, difficult for him to deal with matters alone. The Red Lotus domain needed him, and the Golden Lotus domain needed him. He did not know how to split himself in two. It seems like I need to further increase the Evil Sky Pavilion's strength by recruiting experts, Zhou muttered under his breath. Soon enough, he thought about the Black Tower Council. The internal strife in the Black Tower Council was very serious. Just like Wuya had said, the enemy of my enemy is a friend. Perhaps, he could recruit experts from the Black Tower Council in the future? Zhou shook his head. The most pressing problem was the Golden Lotus domain was so far away. How was he going to solve that problem? Zhou began to organize his thoughts. First, his priority was to solve the problem in the Golden Lotus domain. After they managed to successfully replicate the runic passage, he would increase the strength of the Evil Sky Pavilion. At that time, he would no longer be stretched thin. In fact, Zhou had always subconsciously felt he had to protect the people in the Golden Lotus domain and the Red Lotus domain. However, there was actually no need for that. The Black Tower Council needed the people alive to implement their captivity plan, therefore, they would not lay their hands on the sheep. He did not need to be the people's savior, it was not his responsibility to save the world. All he needed to do was increase the strength of the Evil Sky Pavilion. Di Jiang can reach the Golden Lotus domain in 5 days. With this, a plan began to form in his mind. Early the next morning, Zhou summoned Wuya and Mingxian to the preservation hall. When the 2 disciples entered the hall, they looked a little nervous. Upon seeing their master, they bowed and greeted him. Master. Zhou looked at his 2 disciples and said, "There's something I'm worried about." Mingxian smiled and asked, "What's there for you to worry about, master?" "I need to return to the Golden Lotus domain for half a month," Zhou said. Mingxian's eyes lit up immediately, and he said ingratiatingly, "Master, you want to return to the Golden Lotus domain? Don't worry. Everything has been arranged here. Moreover, 7th junior brother will be here." Wuya chimed in, "4th senior brother is right." Zhou said, "Up until now, apart from me, there's no one in the Evil Sky Pavilion who's a match for the Black Lotus cultivators. What if they come while I'm away? How are you going to deal with it?" Mingxian replied without any hesitation, "Why do we need to deal with it? We can just run away." "Eh? 7th junior brother, why are you looking at me like that?" Wuya. Zhou looked at Mingxian and cocked an eyebrow as he said, "Run away?" Mingxian smiled sheepishly. "What I mean is we don't have to engage in a direct fight. The Red Lotus domain is so big, there's bound to be a place we can temporarily stay." Wuya forced himself to laugh before he said, "Actually, 4th senior brother is right. The Black Tower Council's annihilation plan only targets those at the 10-leaf stage or above. Moreover, Master had killed the judge and soundly defeated the blackguards. If the council were to send people over, they would definitely send more people or stronger people here. However, those experts with 8 or more birth charts hold high positions in the council. The internal strife in the council is so great that those experts won't easily leave the council if it's not absolutely necessary. In the unlikely event that they send those experts here, 4th senior brother and I will lead everyone out of the capital and take the opportunity to investigate the birth chart beasts in the inner pass." After he finished saying this, he said with a sigh, "This will be so much easier if we have a spy in the Black Tower Council." Zhou. "I won't tell you that I already have one." After a beat, Zhou asked, "Old 7th, what's your current cultivation base?" A familiar ominous feeling rose in the 2 disciples' hearts immediately when they heard these words. Was it about to start again? A troubled expression appeared on Wuya's face. This well, it's barely at the 9-leaf stage. Lu Zhou nodded and did not blame Si Wuya. After all, Si Wuya was really too busy. If it were not for the Great Void Seed, with the way Si Wuya cultivated, he would barely make any progress. Then, he turned to look at Ming Shirin. Old Fourth, what about you? Me? I'm at the 9-leaf stage. Ming Shirin answered confidently. Lu Zhou raised his hand immediately, and a golden palm seal flew toward Ming Shirin. Alright, let me test and verify your strength. All the techniques you've learned over the years, use all of them. I'll suppress my cultivation until it's below the 10-leaf stage. Ming Shirin felt like crying. He hurriedly raised his hand and flew out of the preservation hall with the golden palm seal hot on his trails. Si Wuya sighed in relief inwardly. It's finally your turn. Lu Zhou's figure vanished from the hall and arrived outside at lightning speed. He raised his palm again, and another golden palm seal shot toward Ming Shirin again. Ming Shirin was shocked. Boom. He turned around and stomped his feet. The marble floor within a radius of 100 meters cracked immediately. The palm seal entered the marble floor. At this moment, not even Ming Shirin's shadow could be seen. Lu Zhou knew that his fourth disciple had cultivated the underground escape technique, so he looked at the ground. He was not in a hurry. He leisurely looked at the ground after he rested his hands on his back. I have to test Old Fourth's strength. Let's see how long he can hold on. If he can hold on for a long time, I'll feel more at ease leaving for the Golden Lotus domain. Lu Zhou did not use the supreme mystic power as he stomped on the ground. Boom. The ground cracked. No one's here. This was out of Lu Zhou's expectations. However, there were not many places one could hide outside of the preservation hall. His eyes immediately moved to the corridor. Swoosh. Lu Zhou flew toward the corridor. Bang. 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 At this time, numerous energy seals shot toward Lu Zhou from the top of the corridor. There were both energy swords and energy sabers. Swoosh. Lu Zhou unleashed the great dark heaven palm. Bang. 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 A palm seal flew out and deflected all the energy seals. Following that, Lu Zhou unleashed his grand technique. From the left side of the corridor, he flashed to the right and struck upward. Bang. The great seal of fearlessness left a palm-shaped hole behind as it shot up into the sky. At this time, the experts in the palace were alerted to the commotion. When they saw the palm seal, they could not help but feel amazed. An assassin? I'm impressed. There's actually someone who's unafraid of death and dares to assassinate Senior Lu. Lu Zhou raised his head. His palm strike missed again. Where did he run off to? Lu Zhou felt like he had overestimated himself. He should not have said that he would suppress his cultivation base. Lu Zhou studied his surroundings carefully when he felt a gust of wind at his back. He turned around immediately and struck with his palm. Ming Shirin dove as he struck with both his hands. Lu Zhou immediately pushed his hand out to defend himself. Bang. 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 It did not take long for Ming Shirin to realize he was completely unable to breach his master's defenses. In just a flash, he disappeared again. Swoosh. Lu Zhou nodded. He flashed and appeared in front of Ming Shirin in just a blink of an eye. With his left hand resting on his back, he grabbed Ming Shirin with his right hand before throwing him out. Bang. Ouch. Ming Shirin cried out in pain as he was sent flying back.